for most of us, when we're thinking about our target market, we tend to think geography based, geographically, but we also then start to think, by practice area, and that tends to be just, simple. If I practiced family law, I may think, okay, divorce clients in Evansville, that's my target market, and I'm ready to go. But what I find is that's overly general, and for a lot of people, if you'll go out and look online, or you'll look at some of the other advertising and marketing that these firms do, it tends to become over time very generic. Most of the sites out there in the same practice area will actually have a lot of the similar material, because they really don't really overly define that target market. And I think that's an opportunity for a lot of people that take it to the next level and really kind of dive down into it. Because what you're going to find is, if you're able to really understand your client's world and understand the environment where they're growing up and living and the things that they're dealing with, you're obviously going to find the good common concerns and issues. I mean, that's easy enough. Well, there's child support issues. Well, there's probably, post-decree modifications, and there's a myriad of other issues that come up. So I've got that, and that's already on my website. But what you want to do is take the next step and be that family law, injury law, estate planning, and start to understand what are their typical fears and concerns. What are the things that really keep them up at night? And as you begin to really define your target market, you want to think through your communication plan, through your communication strategy. Am I really putting out information that addresses those issues? It's okay if I do estate planning to say, yeah, I'm an estate planning attorney, and here's some just basic information about estate planning, maybe powers of attorney, and some other issues that come up. But if you're really going after those sub-level fears, those concerns, what you're going to find is that's how people are actually searching on the internet now. It's not just, hey, I need an estate planning attorney in Evansville or Louisville or Indianapolis. They actually are looking for very specific information. And if you can actually bypass your competition because you're the only one that really talks about that issue or those subtopics, actually you convert better. And what I mean by conversion, that's one, they've actually found information about you, but more importantly, they've actually taken that next step and engaged with you. And that might be email via the website, that might be a phone call, or in some instances, a walk-in. But it's because you actually talked about those issues, you had information out there on your website about those specific issues that allowed somebody to say, you know what, not only am I in the market for legal service, but now I'm willing to consider you because you seem like a subject matter expert. Okay? And that's really where a lot of people miss it, because they don't really go to that next level. But again, if you'll come back and look at, you know what, I understand geographically, I'm licensed in Indiana, for instance, so I've got Indiana clients, but you really start to subdivide that into really who and what that client is. In the industry, there's something called an avatar. And what I want you to do is really kind of understand what an avatar is. When you go out to websites, be that retail, be that professional, be that legal, a lot of the topics are so broad, it's like they're written for the general public. I'm going to challenge you with this. As you communicate in your environment, think of that one specific client. Understand what their age group is, what their socioeconomic circumstances may be, and try to get a really good defined image in your mind of who that person is. And as you produce content as part of your content strategy, write for that individual or that group of individuals. That's your avatar. And you'll find over time that actually your communication and your information is much more effective, because now I'm not just broadcasting to the world, I'm trying to hone in on the issues, fears, concerns of that one individual, and you can relate much better. And actually that comes across in your writing. That comes across in your marketing messaging. And that's where the advantage is. So again, I think it's a missed opportunity for a lot of people because they try to write very, very generally, and we kind of miss the boat. The other thing is, once you've identified that, once you've really you begin to understand how to communicate a little bit more effectively and what the characteristics of that audience is, then you can start to begin to look at scale, and by that, looking for other similar pockets of opportunity. So what would that be? Well, for right now, I'm here in southwestern Indiana. Well, could I actually broaden that? Could I get up to Jasper? Could I actually expand over to Tell City? Could I actually get a little bit further out? Basically because I'm addressing a lot of subtopics, and then you can begin putting geographic limiters, geographic topics in your content, and that again will help you as you scale up. That'll help you with the internet, with the search engines who say, you know what, evidently you've talked about this town or this area, so you're relevant, and so Google might choose actually to put you in those search results. So it's another way when you look at the scale, it's geographically. But let me give you another hint. There is so much amazing information out there. in public data and other court records. So you can go in and see where is there a higher level of filing in this county versus that county. Okay, can I look at census data and kind of see what's trending? You know, what areas of the country, what areas of my geographic coverage, my market, tend to be growing more than others, and that allows me to direct my content towards those pockets of opportunity. But there is an amazing amount of opportunity out there in terms of data and research. Whether you do it yourself, whether you hire a college student, whether you hire a high school student, just to go out there and find these reports. The government puts it out there. There are agencies that put it out there. There are businesses that put the information out there. It's amazing what you can find if you'll just dig a little bit, but that will help direct your communication plan to other areas where, again, you can rapidly scale your practice with minimal effort. The idea is just to put content out there that aligns with those geographic areas, with your practice, but ultimately comes back and addresses those fears and concerns of your avatar. And that's, when it comes to business development, really defining your target audience does one thing. It's meant to actually increase your conversion. Again, it's nice to have information out there. It's nice to invest time developing these assets, but if nobody's calling, if nobody's walking in, if nobody's engaging with you, you got to take a step back and say, why not? Maybe you're too broad. Once you start thin slicing, you'll find out that your conversion rate, those people that actually come to you and then engage, okay, goes through the roof. It's something that a lot of firms, because they're not really focused on the marketing side of it, so they're putting general information out there, but not really subtopic oriented, really good avatar oriented material.